Hey, what's up, everybody? Little live report from Tallahassee. I'll give a minute here for everybody to log in, let everybody see the latest graphics. 11 o'clock just came out. I want to go over that a little bit. I'm riding around a little bit. I got an 11:45 Fox interview here, and again, I'm gonna get that done, and then I'll drive around a little bit, see see kind of the prep going on here in the city. Maybe drive down the coast a little bit. Still several hours from landfall. All right, so let's get some graphics up here and talk about the latest 11 o'clock advisory. Let me pull it up here real quick. All right, so track. Oh my God, everybody, including myself, is going pulling hair out of our heads trying to figure out this track, right? So, oh man, they official wording from National Hurricane Center is minor change. Um, you can look at that either way. Little to the west, little to the east. I made a comment about west mainly because it was tugging west from what we saw earlier. The zigzag didn't come out right, so apologize for that if it came out wrong. Official wording for NHC, minor track change. Okay, we know we're all seeing these wiggles and wobbles, and we saw a big wiggle to the east, and then I saw a wiggle back to the west, and that's kind of what I was referring to, and trying to keep it kind of you know making sense where this thing is going. So a lot of folks still think it's coming to Tampa, and I I'm sticking to the official forecast right here, National Hurricane Center. Confident that this thing is going to get pulled to the north, Big Bend area, very close to Tallahassee. Where I'm at right now, uh, I mean, you can look at it either way. uh, to the east, to the west. The big winds are definitely on the east side. Okay, east side. So that means, unfortunately for Perry, some of these areas that were hit with Idalia and Debbie, and going north to Thomasville and going Albany, we got definitely shifted west for Atlanta. They're gonna have this thing go smack dab over Atlanta as a tropical storm tomorrow morning. So it's crazy that all of Georgia is under a tropical storm warning or hurricane warning. If you go back to the National Hurricane Center map, though, red is hurricane warning, blue tropical storm warning. Nothing really else has changed on advisory wise. The rain maps have definitely increased. Seeing a little maybe dry air coming in on the bottom side of this thing. Big convection burst. We're going to watch for this little tail here. Hopefully, a little dry air is coming into the scene. I know it looks like it's going east. I know it. It's a lot of people are scared, rightfully so. It's going to be a major hurricane, and it looks like it's heading. Obviously, I say Tampa because that's my hometown. I got a lot of people in Tampa watching, but the eye is basically going to turn. We just got to watch it close. Okay, made a little west jog, little east jog, little west jog, little east jog. The eyes, wiggle and wobble, but you've got to stick to the official forecast, and it's pretty darn locked in. Very little change. If you really want to zoom into it, you can go to the National Hurricane Center site here and click on this. Now, this is tricky. This kind of tricked me out a little bit too. Because our system is bending, they don't bend their forecast track. So you can kind of get an idea here if you put on the center line, which you're not really supposed to put the center line on, but you can at least zoom in and see. Earlier, it was definitely east of Tallahassee, but it's that bend. The storm's bending and they connect the dots. So technically, very little track change. Tallahassee's going to be right there close to direct hit. And again, everybody off to the east, all these little towns, Albany, you guys got hit with Michael. Unfortunately, the winds. I do have a website here if you really want to look at it as far as the winds go. National Weather Service winds gust map right here shows you can zoom in really close. I think it updates hourly, and you can kind of get an idea, possibly what you're going to see. It's got a lot of colors. Yes, it's very confusing. Uh, but 159, Gus. This is I don't know where they get the information from. I mean, I don't know if it's modeling. It updates every hour though, and you can go forward in time and you can get an idea, where it's going, where the eye is expected to go. There's Tallahassee. Obviously, the big winds here showing up on the east side. you just gotta be careful. I mean, if you're in that cone, these big winds, uh, I mean, we could have a big swath of these winds on the east side coming up east of Tallahassee. Here's Tallahassee, might be right on the eye. So, not a very big change. I mean, that's just the point. We're all, we're seeing nudges, and we got to trust this cone, and I trust it. I trust the upper level steering. It looks like it's going east. I agree, and I mean, we have to go by the official forecast and watch these things in real time. The best place too to watch it in real time is tropicaltidbits.com, and you can watch the hurricane hunters and start to get a sense. And over time, you'll start to see these little eyes kind of do this little wiggle wobble. I mean, they're going to do that. They're going to bounce here, and that's what gets everybody kind of going. So, um, you know, I mean, I'm watching very closely too. But I was, surprised that the track was almost almost relatively the same. They said minor changes. I don't know what minor means. A couple miles, but in the scheme of a hurricane, minor, still doesn't change the effects. Trust me, minor changes. So other graphics I want to show you, they did come out with this. They extended the high risk flood map all the way past all of the dang Virginia line. So anytime we get a pink flooding map, that's severe possible flooding. I know we're not showing a lot of totals, but flash flooding is definitely possible with a high amount of rainfall totals. A lot of this comes into that. Large area red, even yellow. Yeah, you get rain training, you get feeder bands coming in off the Gulf, for in this case, and over in the Atlantic on the other side. High risk of flooding. That's a large area that they now include under high risk for flash flooding, and most of that's today through tonight. A little bit tomorrow in the mountains, and then on by Saturday, starts to get out of here. That's some good news. So today through tonight, and then some tomorrow. So, and again, this is through the night. This is tonight. A lot of rain is expected in the eye and the storm as it approaches. Here's some of these rain totals. You can see the Chattanooga area. We got tons of rain, double digits showing up. That's going to be big problems in the mountains. Up that way, that's why we have the high risk extending all the way up to that. Landfall here east or west of Tallahassee, we got a big area of orange. That's Panama Beach. I got a lot of friends in that area there. So still gonna be some heavy rain. Just the big winds are going to be off to the east of that. Surge has not changed. I don't believe it's pretty much the same. We got Tampa Bay 5 to 8, 47. Down to Inglewood, 8 to 12, Anclote North 10 to 15, there to Swanee, and then 15 to 20 in the Big Bend area, all the way wrapping around there. Apalachicola 10 to 15. So that really hasn't changed there. The Storm Prediction Center has added a bunch of tornado watches since this morning. We got tornado watches now pretty much for the whole southeast, South Carolina, Georgia, northern Florida, down through the whole Florida peninsula. So that's current tornado watches. SPC outlook for today, you can see that yellow usually is you know chance for some severe weather. Orange is better chances for severe weather, and that extends down to northeast Florida around coastal Georgia and into South Carolina. So everybody in the yellow, pay attention. Everybody in the green, pay attention. Definitely pay attention more in the yellow and even more in the orange. You can have these squall lines and feeder bands coming in off the Atlantic. Tropical systems spin counterclockwise. That's why the eye almost is here following that in all the actions to the east because of the counterclockwise flow off the Gulf and the counterclockwise flow off the Atlantic. And then tomorrow, we have this listed, and it includes a large part of North Carolina upwards through Virginia in the green. So our storm could last through the night, could have nasty weather continue through the night, and this is listed for tomorrow as our tropical system kind of lingers up here. So there you have it. Watch this thing in real time. Every hurricane hunter pass. But looking at tropical tidbits, we got spaghetti models. Everything is pretty much showing the same. You know, uh, we saw a big wiggle east, and then the eye did a wiggle back west. But this is the track. I know it looks like it's heading to West Central Florida, but that's the track, and that's what we got. As in, you can go to Tang here too. Brian Tang's web. Oh, I got to do my skit here in 10 minutes. Brian Tang's website. Let's see right here, and I love this site. Tang guidance, and you can see the last 6 runs of the NHC official here. NHC turning more towards, I mean, you know, you can argue it hasn't changed. You can argue it ticked west through Florida. You can argue it. I mean, it's so tight the last 6 runs. And then the consensus models that a lot of times the NHC uses, dark blue is the most recent, and that's almost the same. So they're expecting a little bit more turn towards the coast, but the consensus models here, which just came out, 12Zs, you know, let me zoom in on it here, and you can see uh, there, little tick east at landfall with, but the NHC didn't go that far east, so maybe they will a little bit, but it's so darn close. I guess the point is we just can't be looking at these little wiggles and wobbles as much as, the effects don't change. The eye wall, let's take a look at hurricane force winds real quick. Public public advisory will tell you hurricane force winds, tropical storm force winds. Let's see, hurricane force winds extend out 60 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend out 345 miles. So hurricane winds extend 60 miles from the center. That's mainly east, some west, but mainly east, and then 345 miles from the center, and that's again mainly east. You can get an idea of the winds here. There are tropical storm force winds on both sides. I mean, that's a little different with this system. So you will get tropical storm force warnings, or feel in the Florida Panhandle. It's just the main eye wall winds are the ones you are most concerned about with the big winds. But this orange ball right here are tropical storm force winds, and there's a lot, 300. It's a lot of folks. 345 miles from this center. I don't know, maybe 100 miles on that side. It's still 400 or 500 miles wide, tropical storm force. So, all right, little update for you. Watching this thing in real time, and we'll see what the hurricane hunters find. Remember, lower pressure is bad, the higher pressure is good. This could be a little bit of dry air, maybe coming into the play that might help keep it weaker. But I don't know. That's a lot of convection bubbling around this thing. So we'll see what she's got, man. It's hauling butt. We'll see if it's going to start making that turn as expected. Otherwise, we're going to have bigger impacts along the peninsula for sure.